Hey everyone, Spicy Toast Gaming here. Hope you're having a great day. Hope this video can make it a little bit better for you. This is actually going to be a clip from one of my live streams. If you want a link to my Twitch channel to see me playing any of this live, or a link to the main channel, both will be in the description down below. If you enjoy the video, a like and subscribe is always appreciated, and let's get into it. All right, everyone should be back. So what we're doing today is we're trying to utilize specifically the 4.5 Weekly Nightmare to try to level up a lot of people that sometimes can be a little bit of a hassle. So for this one right here, guided meditation, this is massive. All players start with 10 mana gems. So what you can do for a lot of champions is either go for like a Chemtech duplicator build, or just play some champions that play a lot of really big units and can scale the extra mana, such as like an Elder Dragon, Volibear, any of those. So this is going to be very good this week for anyone that wants to level up. So we're going to be showing up a couple different strategies. First, we're going to try to go for Darius, and we're just going to go straight Greater Blessings, just nothing but that. With all the extra mana, we should be able to rally every time we attack, and then with the 6-star that we have, summon a Noxian ally with cost equal to your mana gems. That should be good, because we're always going to have 10. Let's maybe go ahead and check what Noxus has for 10. Hi, Toast. What I expect to be a weird week started globally weirder than I thought. I'm not sure why you expected this week to be weird. I don't know if I'm missing something. Granted, I haven't really been paying attention to the news, so I'm kind of in the dark, to be honest. Let's go for Noxus. Let's go down here for 10. Okay, so the only 10 cost is Otacon. So by starting out with 10 every single attack, we're going to be pulling out this. There shouldn't be any other, so pulling out an Otacon every attack, or I think it's the first attack every round, but regardless. The Pope died? Oh, shit. Really? When did that happen? Did that, like, just happen just now? Oh, yeah, if I look at X, Pope Francis is trending. He died Easter Monday. And apparently JD Vance, the vice president of the US, said it's good to see you in better health, and then he dies the next day. That's... Wow. Huh, well, I definitely did not expect that. In Panama, we're expecting protests. Why people protesting in Panama? Like, the only thing I think about the Panama is the Panama Canal of that, but I don't know if there's something else going on in Panama. Love the video, YouTube, and live, Cutie Man. Hey, welcome. Welcome, Cutie. Yeah, that is... Some friends are joking that Vance killed the Pope. I mean, I kind of wonder what would be the point. I know some people don't really like the Pope because he seems like he's more on the left than, like, what people would maybe want from the Pope. But I mean, I don't know. I don't really follow any of that. Wow, that is genuinely surprising. I was not paying attention. Weird. All right, we're gonna grab Darius here. When allies attack, summon a random Noxian. So this isn't even the first time around. Just every time we attack, essentially we're summoning Otacon. So that's gonna be hilarious. Oh god, a lot of issues are happening, including the canal problems, U.S. relations, and a lot of stuff. Okay, yeah, for one, I've been taking a step back, trying to just not really look at news in general, because it can just be kind of overwhelming. So normally I'll go through periods where I kind of consume everything that's going on, and then it kind of just gets like overwhelming. It's like, okay, I'm gonna take a step back for a couple days, couple weeks, a month. And so that's kind of one of the periods where, like, you know what, let's just focus on my life, not necessarily what's going on in the world. Yeah, Panama's a place that I don't really... Like, obviously, I know where it is. I know the importance of the Panama Canal, but as far as Panama as an actual like country, what the politics of the country is, what's going on there, I have no idea. I'm the same because my emotions were insane. I mean, yeah, there is kind of a real issue with news in general, but also politics and just the fact that we have the worldwide news, that there's constantly something crazy going on, something that gets you worked up on. And for pretty much everything in politics, there's not really anything you can do. Like, especially as an American, it's like, okay, you can go out, you can vote. I mean, like, I guess there's some extra things to do if you want to go like campaign, go door to door, or potentially if some people want to go protest. But like in general, especially things outside of your country, there's not really anything you can do. Like another thing, a lot of people want to be really, really upset about like the war in Ukraine or the stuff going on in Israel. And it's like, yes, those topics can matter and be important, but at the same time, don't let it ruin your life by constantly consuming it, when in reality it's like, even if it's the worst thing ever, some things you can't really do anything about. And so sometimes it's good just to take a step back, try to reevaluate and focus on what's actually immediately important to you. Because yeah, sometimes it can drive you crazy. It drives you crazy and there's not really anything for the most part you can do, and so it's just not healthy. But I mean, being informed can be good as long as you don't push it too far. Anyways, we're gonna grab Darius. We're gonna try to level him. He's only level 36. I think this would work regardless of if you have him at 6 stars. I think since we do have him at 6 stars, it'll be better. But if you're trying to utilize this, you could go for like, if you don't have like your Volibear leveled, your Elder Dragon, some of these bigger champions, or for like some Chemtech champions like Heimerdinger, Jace. One thing I'd recommend for them is throw on Chemtech Duplicator and then just go for XP relics. Let's grab this and try it out. Casual Otacon? Yeah, it should be pretty hilarious. I was thinking about Jace. Yeah, Jace will be pretty good here. Ally dies, summon a Haunted Tomb. We don't really want stuff on our board. I don't think this one contributes to our rally, I don't think. So let's... Sure, Bagel Dust will be fun. All the fixer up is good. Then Abyssal Eye. I'm still just kind of... Man, that is crazy that the Pope died, and you just... Obviously, it's not really something... Like, I didn't even know he was sick. Like, just looking, it was apparently he had double pneumonia. Goodness. Which, yeah, like, that will wreck people, especially when you're older. So I had no idea he was even sick, and they're just like, he's gone. Crazy. Let's get rid of the Thorn. So we could open up with Darius first. He already has Overwhelm. Let's actually give it to someone that doesn't have Overwhelm. Well, that's a little unfortunate. But they blew all their mana on that. Alright, so we're not going to have quite enough to be able to rally. So that feels a little bad. But getting a attack in so we get our Otacon is pretty helpful. Alright, that seems fine. Let's drop this here, get some draw going.
Only the strongest become Trifarian.
Let's go for a Bloody Business to kill that. Actually, let's open up with this one here.
Demolitions to me.
Alright, let's go ahead and kill that one. And they do have a lot of units.
You won't feel it.
And of course. Alright, this should be game. GG. Oh, man. Yeah, he was 88. The thing is, yesterday at the Holy Week service, he truly He truly lived. They'll always be serving. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what, like, it seemed like he was in the Pope Mobile driving around, despite being super sick till the very end, which, yeah, is commendable. The fact that he was up until the very end trying to do his job and, yeah, serving. That's pretty good. Public execution would be nice. Get another rally. Yep, and the mana cost isn't that big of a deal since we already are going to start at 10. Starless Seer, Anivia, Ezreal. He would be relatively big, especially for a cheaper unit. Double attack is pretty scary, though. I think I actually rather go the cheaper route. Anivia? I mean, Anivia would level immediately, but I don't know. I never really liked Anivia. But yeah, she would immediately level. Sure, let's try to go here. Seems like the funnier choice. I mean, it would probably be funny. You got me there. Also, yeah, Cutie, thank you for the follow as well. Let's see. We can get rid of the Static Shock. Yeah, it's gonna be okay. I think we'll open up with Affectionate Poro. Okay, it is definitely a worry of what are they gonna pull out when we try to attack.
My ass is ready.
Alright, so we could attack like this, get some good damage down, we would immediately rally. So I kind of don't want to delay and have them pull out something super annoying, so I think let's just immediately attack again. This will level up our Darius. GG. It is pretty rough how people our age are just having to constantly live through eventful times. There's always stuff going on. It's just like, can't there just be a little bit more peace and quiet for a while? It's just like another kind of world impacting event going on. Oh man. Don't think I care about Shakedown. This we're not going to play enough spells, so I guess we kind of just have to go for Yone. This is my 4th Pope and I'm under 40, or under 30. I mean, I'm now over 30. So, I guess I've had Fords as well. I only really remember this one and the last one. I only really remember 2, but also I'm not Catholic, so I don't actually pay as much attention. And also, like, while there are a lot of Catholics in America, most people I know, pretty much everyone I, like, am somewhat closer to, none of them are actually Catholic either, so I just don't have anyone talking about it ever. I think let's actually try to go for the Radiant Plate Armor. Because this gives us +4. And this needs 15 total power. So potentially we can drop Darius, attack, and immediately get a rally going. Sure. Let's go for Shredder, although this one can bug out games. Hopefully that doesn't happen. This Pope has served a while, though. At least, I feel like it's been like 10 years at least. I'm gonna... Yeah, the top search is how long was Pope Francis Pope? 12 years. Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, it's got to be over 10 by this point, right? The 3rd died. Latin Catholicism is really big. Yeah. Last couple of years, you seem a bit more evangelical with Protestants. Yeah, especially, yeah, Latin America is always super, super big on Catholicism. So it makes sense that it'd be much more apparent down there. Let's... Honestly, we can hold on to this. We're gonna hope that we can drop Darius and attack.
I'll handle this myself.
All right, so we're just gonna immediately attack before they can do anything. We get our rally. Yeah, the damaging effect is not great. Let's go ahead and kill that guy.
They will bleed for Noxus.
Suppose we could have tried to drop one of these and then attack again. All right, so that's gonna stun both of them. I think let's drop this here and stun both their units. All right. And sure, we can drop this right here. All right, once again, let's try to attack before they can play anything. And GG. I saw the video for the Nidalee Protector run, had flashbacks to the day run. Yeah, that was rough. I'm surprised we were able to actually come away with the win there, but we pulled through. That was very painful, though. Battlecaster's not bad. Wild Claws is decent, because it could do a lot of damage. We could play it for relatively cheap. I think we'll go here, a cheap unit that can have decent power, buff up himself. Yeah, wouldn't be too bad. Let's go for the shop. Some of these are fine, but I do kind of like what we already have. We're probably not going to trigger Fated too much. Let's try to... Okay, yeah, another Darius power. That's fine. Our health is okay. Let's give it a true shot. We're probably never going to play it. Go for Sejuani.
Trust nothing but your
Hello,
strength.
Scott. Welcome. Carthians, I think you said you were Brazilian. Why did you move to Panama? Kind of forgetting offhand. This is probably fine. They might immediately frostbite us, but let's try to drop our Darius. All right, perfect. We're going to attack before they can do their slow speed frostbite. Technically, they could kill Darius, but Otacon could revive him. They still could potentially frostbite us because it's a one cost, I believe. Oh, from Venezuela. Okay. Right. Yeah, we're both Venezuelan, and yeah, moving because of Venezuela is... I 100% understand where you're coming from. Probably better than most people. Yeah, that is unfortunate. Strike draw one or try to get some more stats. I think let's do a reroll, see if Power Rift's not bad. Sure. Hey, Uranium Cat. Welcome. Yeah, I actually need to follow up with what happened in Venezuela, because I thought that there was another political person that was doing really well, and then I forget if Maduro like arrested her. I think Maduro was the current dictator. Yeah, I haven't looked at Venezuelan news in a little while. Collect your bounty, endurance. Sure, this can be okay. We have Remitter. Sure, Remitter's fun. Let's go for Cub. It's not worth the insaneness. Yeah, it's also it's more difficult reading about news of a place you actually know. Like, sure, it's terrible when it's like this tsunami hit this country and did like a ton of damage or killed these many people. It's like, that is terrible. But then when you're actually like from that place, it's obviously going to hit way harder. And so trying or like looking at places like that, like looking for news in Venezuela, you don't want to dive too deep into it because, again, not really much you can do to help it. And then also just it's going to stress you out even more, which can be kind of rough. Why do people think dictators are always evil? I don't think dictators are like, technically a king is supposed to be a benevolent dictator, and there have been good kings in the past, and so it's not the fact that it's always the case, but yeah, quite often, even if people enter with good motivations, having absolute power over a country, the fact that you can in many situations do anything and no one can stand up to you, like, people inherently aren't really the best. Like, everyone has the capacity for terrible things. There are some people that, yeah, are able to do good things, but we all have the capacity to do bad. And when someone can just do whatever they want and get away with it, that can really lead to people doing some terrible things. Also, most dictators, quite often when you're trying to go for power, it's the same thing for like politicians, is people go into those professions because they want to have that power. Like, the best people to often be like a dictator or a leader or a politician would be someone that doesn't necessarily want the role, but it would be someone that is called upon for it. Someone that kind of wants to mind their own business, but they're going to try to put the country first. That is kind of going to be the best person often to lead, but obviously that's not going to be the person that's trying to get into these roles. People that are trying to be politicians is because they want to have that power over people, and so it's like already the pool that you're potentially pulling from could be a lot worse as is. Now, sure, there's going to be some people that genuinely do want to help their country, that get into politics for that. That's 100% some people. But there's also people that try to go for positions of power that want to abuse that power. So it's not necessarily the case. Like, not all dictators are inherently evil, but there's a lot of factors that are going to lead to that being the case. And also, if you're a dictator and you're seizing the power by force in like a coup, normally when you are someone with absolute power, or just with power in general, you don't want to lose that power. So again, even if you start off in the right course, often it can lead to terrible things. All right, that was a kind of a long tangent, but yeah, you're totally fine asking some questions. Yeah, the best system can often be, or like not the best, but normally there being some system where even if you are a king, having some amount of accountability to your people, having some way that they can depose you, is still going to be better. Like, I know for England, they had a key, and then they signed the, I think, Magna Carta, because the nobles and the people were like, hey, you're abusing your power, you're doing a bunch of this terrible stuff, we need to hold you account. And they were actually able to do that and were able to sign the Magna Carta, which I think is able to give the people some amount of rights over to keep the king accountable. So having a main leader, especially one that has more authority, can be fine, but especially if you're trying to think of just like a dictator, a supreme ruler that no one can stand up to them, that is normally always going to corrupt, just because no one being able to say no to you, people being afraid of you, if you're disappearing people, like it's going to lead generally to bad cases. And then even if you have one benevolent dictator or ruler, even if they do a good job, potentially the person they pass it on to, like if they have a kid or someone else, it then can be taken over by other people that are kind of terrible. Because I think people can point to different times in history where there has been a benevolent king, ruler, Caesar, dictator, different areas, and it was like, oh, this actually was good. They actually cared about their people. They did what they thought was best for them, and it worked out. But even if that's the case, then look at the people that follow them, and then quite often it is going to end up being terrible. Dictator is not... Yeah, Darius is not a dictator. They have their Trifarian, so it's 3 leaders. Hi, Rivi. We were talking about the Pope, and then we were talking about Venezuela, which is where Carthians and I are from. And then talking about, yeah, dictators. That's kind of what we're doing. All right, let's grab this. This is fine. I think we'll just try to drop Darius right away.
Is ready.
All right, that sucks. We'll do what we can to build out our board, but it probably won't be enough. Yeah, we're not going to be able to do enough, so we'll just attack with these 2. We'll still get our leveled Otacon, but... let's see. That won't be enough to level us. Let's hit this here just for the draw. Ooh. Ripperino to him. All right, let's go ahead and drop our Darius.
Have my order.
Our other one is going to get burnt away because we don't have room, but it shouldn't matter. This should just be GG. And we have the backup rally just in case. Yep, GG. Dictators suck. I prefer people who catalog bugs. You know, tick daters. Interesting. Fair enough. Didn't realize you're from Venezuela, Toast. Unless I heard something. Trying to pay attention, but I'm half asleep. Yes. So I was born there, but as you can probably tell, I'm not genetically Venezuelan. My heritage is more of like Scandinavian / German. But yeah, I was born there and grew up partially there. Let's go for the public execution. That'll be nice. I love the genetically Venezuelan. Yeah. Let's go for remitter. Sure, frenzied fighting is fun. Some of these are okay. Sure, getting another unit on the board will be nice. Yumi's book. I don't really like the maker, but our units should be big enough that it shouldn't matter. That being said, they're still gonna have other recalls. Let's actually go for the Colossus. My duty darkens some of my friends and family. Oh, you should see me. So normally I used to work in construction every summer. When I went through college, I would go college during like normal year, go home and just do construction all summer to try to make enough money to try to pay enough for college. So that's normally what I would do. And so I'd be working outside all summer. And literally when I'd come back, it was funny because I would be darker than some of my black friends. And now, like, the one black friend that we put our arms next to each other, I was noticeably darker than she was. Now, I think she technically was mixed. I think one of her parents, was white. But still, most people, obviously, you look at her and you're like, oh, okay, she's black. And so it was hilarious, the fact that I was actually darker than she was. It was, yeah, pretty funny. Although right now, I haven't been out in the sun nearly as much, so I'm a lot lighter than normal. But actually, my father, he is strangely really, really dark. Like, he's still white, but his skin is dark that most people think that he's maybe, like, Native American, which is also kind of funny. So, not sure why my family has that. Let's go for Bloody Business and keep all these. True gamer never sees the sun. Pretty much. Like, literally, when we lived in our apartment, I sometimes would go literal months without going outside. We'll try to drop Ezreal. Alright, that's a lot of stats. Love it. Yeah, let's just immediately attack like this. We can get our rally going.
Not dying here.
This isn't going to do enough damage, and this is slow. So that sucks.
Kindle picked me. That's why I smell.
All right, let's still drop this. And, well, I guess we can put this one here. Oh, he doesn't have Challenger, right? There. Doesn't he revive the strongest? Yeah.
Do your best.
All right, this is fine, because we can now go for the public execution. Get another rally. Oh, it's a play effect, not a... Yeah. I, for some reason, also was thinking that's an attack effect, but no. Play effects, we're never getting that, but GG. Meanwhile, try to tan, and my skin ends up either burnt, red, or barely changed noticeable. So for me, what always happens is I burn once at the start, and then from that point on, I'm fine. But this is, again, like working all summer long in the sun all day. But yeah, I also can get pretty dark naturally. Granted, who knows if we're going to end up with, like, skin cancer in a few years, who knows. Go Hard's fun. Sure, especially with the Elixir of Sorcery, it's just a fun spell. We're at max health. I think let's give it a Static Shock. While it's fine, the draw is good, we're normally not going to want to use it. And let's try to go for Gangplank.
I accept your terms.
At the moment, I'm trying to just do quests and clear out the map so I can get enough Primo Gem to try and 5-star my weapon for my 5-star character I pulled. Want her signature, it'll make my team do even more damage. My team is 3 5-stars and a single 4. Easily best 4-star in the game because of flat attack buff. Nice. Either this week or next week, we're actually going to do a sponsored stream for Starvale, so that'll be fun. Here is really fun to see in Supermarket, and you see shrimp humans, really burnt red people. Oh yeah, that is, yeah, a little rough. When you're white, you can just really go red. Let's go here. Yeah, I have a friend like that is super, her whole family's super pale, and so if they ever go outside, it can be pretty rough. We'll try to drop Darius. 10 damage, man. Alright, let's go ahead, attack like this. Oh, that is a lot of damage. I mean, we could drop him again. But let's go for our Ezreal. That way we can get our public execution. So we can attack like this. Get our Otacon. Go ahead and drop this here to get rid of their one blocker. And then GG. Perfect. Yeah, it is kind of fun to think about some of those situations, like actually potentially trying to look through history and be like, have we actually seen many benevolent dictators, and actually trying to like dive a little bit deeper into that topic of, has there been situations where people seemingly were good, took over power, and then just like immediately got corrupted? Have there been any people that actually genuinely seem to do good, and then like the follow-up people after them, their predecessors, then kind of screwed everything up? Because there's a lot of that that's like, you have your initial thoughts, and there's some examples or some things you like vaguely remember, but it's like, it would actually be interesting to kind of dive in and try to look at what the actual information is. Because the same with like the king with the Magna Carta, like that's something that's like, I vaguely know, this was for England, but it's like, what actually was the king doing that was causing the problem? How did the nobles or whatnot actually solve it? But yeah, it's normally things like that. It's like not really time or relevant for what I normally do, but it is interesting to sometimes think about stuff like that. Although also I think just history in general is always kind of fascinating. anyways, that was super fun. Darius working out great here. We're gonna get to like, yeah, over 40. He was relatively low before. He's one of the ones that if you have this modifier, we get that 10 starting mana, he can do great. Now, obviously, since we have the 6-star, he is extra good since we're summoning that Otacon every single time, since it's the only 10 cost Noxus. But I think even without that, Darius, even with primarily XP relics, still is going to be able to dominate just because you can drop him so much earlier. You can drop all your big units, so you're pretty much guaranteed to get that rally with your first attack every time. You can just put a ton of pressure on the enemy. Thank you for watching that video, especially all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.